The story behind Boruto's curse dates back to long before the shinobi world ever even existed. When the story of Boruto first began, the son of the 7th Hokage was pretty much just a spoiled brat who often acted out because he longed for the attention of his father. As the story went on, however, we quickly began to grow to understand both sides of the story between the workaholic father and the prodigious son, who kind of craved that attention even if not specifically from Naruto. Boruto's vulnerability was eventually taken advantage of during the Chunin exams by Katsuki, who had persuaded him to sneak in and use his new scientific ninja tool when he gets into a pinch. Obviously, by the end, he is caught and exposed by none other than Naruto himself. However, before this dramatic portion of the story develops any further with an embarrassed Boruto running off, Momoshiki and Kinshiki Otsutsuki arrive on Earth. The beginning of this battle would mark the course the rest of the Boruto series would set out on, as Naruto and Sasuke engaged in one of the most insane battles in Naruto history, hands down guys, and for the first time since the 4th Great Ninja War as well. Naruto and Sasuke are both ridiculously powerful ninja on their own, but together, their teamwork and specific set of skills make them an almost unbeatable pair. And they did have the upper hand on Momoshiki at first, but after absorbing Kinshiki's powers, Momoshiki entered a state of power that made the very earth tremor. As Momoshiki looked to devastate the earth and continue carrying on the true Otsutsuki destiny, Boruto, with the help of his father, recreated the giant Rasengan and with all of his might, obliterated Momoshiki, destroying him indefinitely, or so they thought. Know this, boy. Those that defeat a god can never remain normal, were the words Momoshiki whispered to Boruto as the battle ended, but something strange had already taken place. Upon these words being uttered and a burning sensation overcoming him, Boruto had been afflicted with the curse of the Otsutsuki, the Karma Seal, and had intertwined his fate with that of the God Tree. Why Momoshiki was on Earth in the first place, the events that led to this, and the organization also working in the shadows hiding from him, are all really significant when talking about the curse of the Karma Seal and Boruto's fate, and this is what brings us to our video today. The original Otsutsuki plan has long since been thrown off course, but things have taken an insane turn in their favor as of late, but there's one part of this triangle that still remains kind of a question mark. If you guys want to check out the original Boruto Naruto Next Generations manga, as always, I recommend sites like Viz and the Shonen Jump app to support the official releases, so be sure to go check them out. If you weren't really into Boruto before or are just getting into it now and enjoy the content, consider leaving a like on this video and be sure to have those notifications on by clicking the bell icon down below to never miss an upload as soon as they go live. Don't forget to follow on both Twitch and Twitter to stay up with me and all anime related content, guys. But without further ado, so to understand the things that are happening to Boruto, we first have to review what we know about Otsutsuki so far. Long ago, before the dawn of the Age of Shinobi, Kaguya arrived on Earth in order to carry out her destiny, but something changed along the way and she ended up falling in love and marrying on Earth. It wasn't until recently, however, that we learned from Amato in the Boruto manga that Kaguya didn't arrive on Earth by herself. As Otsutsuki, Kaguya was once believed to be some form of a creator and destroyer of all things in the shinobi realm. However, we later learned that the Otsutsuki are actually alien parasites from another planet, and what they do is invade the planet in pairs, as the destiny of Otsutsuki requires 2 of them. Once invading the planet, the Otsutsuki embed the planet with a 10-tails that acts as the seed for the god tree that they look to produce and harvest. After absorbing the very life essence and energy on the planet, the tree then bears the coveted chakra fruit, packed full of all the genetic and evolutionary info from the planet. The chakra fruit is so powerful and so desired by Otsutsuki that, as Amato stated, they would give their own lives to obtain it, which is why 2 Otsutsuki are needed for the ritual. In order for the tree to fully blossom and bear this fruit, the 10-tails must devour a live Otsutsuki to complete the process. When Kaguya did end up arriving on Earth, she traveled with another of her kind by the name of Isshiki Otsutsuki. Isshiki was a higher rank than Kaguya, so by default, she would have been the one to be fed to the 10-tails in order for the tree to blossom, but somewhere down the line, as I said, she abandoned her original destiny and betrayed Isshiki and the clan. This, along with other events that went on to severely weaken him, forced Isshiki to pursue finishing the preparations for the tree alone. With Kaguya now defeated at the end of the 4th Great Ninja War, Isshiki was left no other choice than to resort to planning to defeat himself to the Ten Tails, to which Kara had stored in another dimension only accessible to those with space-time ninjutsu. How in the world Isshiki acquired this new Ten Tails different from the Earth's original one is still a mystery, but it leads me to believe that he may still be, for the most part at least, loyal to the clan, though some things do still make me wonder about this. Amado goes on to explain the steps that must be taken to permanently kill an Otsutsuki, involving drawing them out of their host body and forcing them to reincarnate into their true form without a host. While this plan was successful, Isshiki reincarnated with an astonishing amount of power that he couldn't really fully use in Jigen's body, and upon learning of the fate of Boruto and their now destined link, he heads to the Leaf Village. Boruto killing Momoshiki was a blessing and a curse, figuratively speaking, as the immediate threat to the village and the earth was handled, but Boruto had been afflicted with the karma seal from Momoshiki, ensuring his later reincarnation. What Momoshiki had done was embedded a complete backup of himself to Boruto, making him a vessel that would slowly be overtaken by the karma seal and Momoshiki's will until eventually, Boruto was completely taken over by Otsutsuki. While this gives Boruto access to a lot of the powers that Otsutsuki used, allowing Isshiki to gain knowledge that he's been afflicted with the Otsutsuki curse was a worst case scenario. Isshiki, ever since Kaguya's betrayal, has been working along with the organization Kara in order to produce another chakra fruit, and as we remember, this does take 2 Otsutsuki. As Isshiki approached the Ten Tails that they had restrained in another realm, he demonstrated that he was fully prepared to carry out his fate when the beast tried to bite him, and he replied, "Not yet." Obviously, I'm sure getting eaten isn't preference to Isshiki, even though he had already placed the karma seal on Kawaki, so he ensured his return, but when news of Boruto harboring Momoshiki's karma seal reached him, he then planned to carry out the partnership roles of the Otsutsuki and the ritual of the God Tree, using Boruto as his sacrificial partner. Boruto, or Momoshiki rather, is now to be fed to the Ten Tails by Isshiki if Kara hopes to sprout the God Tree, and this is ultimately the fate of the Otsutsuki, as one cultivates the tree and the other, as in this scenario, pretty much ceases to exist. In the Otsutsuki clan, there are ranks among members, as we've seen a few already. Momoshiki is definitely the highest ranking member of the clan we've seen so far, which in turn means that he should be the one to consume the chakra fruit, right? Not be devoured by the Ten Tails, but something tells me that Isshiki may have something else going on as well. As the pair of Momoshiki and Kinshiki came to Earth to investigate Kaguya, Isshiki went quiet as Kara was pretty much a thing of the imagination, and this makes me wonder, was he afraid that Momoshiki would possibly feed him to the Ten Tails himself if he knew he was still here? Isshiki's trail went ice cold during the epic battle with Momoshiki, but Kara would go on to continue their plans afterwards. However, Isshiki never planned for Momoshiki to leave behind a second vessel, accelerating their plans tenfold at least. When you really think about it though, Isshiki feeding Momoshiki to the Ten Tails doesn't seem like something he should be allowed to do, being a lower rank and everything. However, as Amado stated, Otsutsuki would give their lives to obtain that power. If Isshiki is to feed Boruto to the Ten Tails, this seems like it would effectively get rid of Momoshiki too, right? Since his only karma seal is on Boruto. So this leads us into another line of thinking. Could a possible future conflict come between Isshiki and Momoshiki if Momoshiki is resurrected? Now that Kawaki's karma seal has been deleted, Boruto seems to be the grand prize in the middle of this tug of war for the chakra fruit, being the one who holds the key to who will obtain this power in the end now. Down below in the comments, I have 2 big questions for you guys. How do you think Boruto will have to deal with Momoshiki in the long run? And do you think Isshiki is 100% loyal to the clan still? The curse of Otsutsuki is plaguing Boruto's life as he learns to live with his power while also being able to do nothing but wait until Momoshiki has completely taken over his body, and as of right now, there's no way to force his resurrection without completely destroying Boruto in the process. Will Boruto succumb to Momoshiki's will and be consumed by the karma seal? Or, and this is my favorite scenario, will he claim these powers as his own and be the answer to taking down all of Otsutsuki for good?